Podcast of Poseidon is a spoiler-heavy podcast.
That's an understatement.
We're going to discuss not just the events of this book, but the Rhinoverse as a whole, and really anything that we feel is relevant. You can find full spoiler warnings in the show notes. But honestly, saying you want a lemon juice sounds like you're fucking unhinged.
Sometimes I just want to eat lemon. It's good. It's a little
Don't
sour,
make that face at
but
me.
it's good.
Our listeners can't see that face. So... Hello, mortals, monsters, and myth lovers alike. You're listening to Podcast of Poseidon, where we explore how ancient myths become modern pop culture, buried in Rick Riordan's, Percy Jackson, and the Olympians. This is Chapter 29, The Manticore. I'm your co-host, on loan from the Hunters of Artemis, Darien and Smartt. Joining me is my co-host and brother, hailing from the Attitude City, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? If you haven't heard of Attitude City, well, all you need to know is that everybody there has a black belt in amazing and diplomas from the University of Keeping It Real.
I want a diploma from the University of Keeping It Real.
Go to Attitude City.
Well, do you think I can get one from the camp store?
Maybe. We can go check it out.
All right, let's find out. Hey, y'all. Just me. DJ found out the camp store doesn't take Apple Pay, so he had to go back to the car to get his wallet. You know how it is. I'll make this quick. We don't have a lot to cover, but we did want to take some time and thank a couple of our listeners who left some really lovely reviews. Big thank you to OnlyO9025 and Uta32 for leaving just really lovely reviews and rating, giving us those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. We super, super appreciate it. OnlyO has described us as a pog pod, which I believe is a good thing. DJ is not here to help me with the youth slang, but they did say that it is a very solid podcast, BTW, and also I'm pretty sure this is Owen from Through the Mist, so I would assume it's a pog is good. Thank you both so much. Sorry it took us some months to be able to thank you. You can only see reviews left by people in your same country. But I did a little bit of podcast production magic and found this program that is going to let us see all our reviews from any listener wherever you be in the world. So, if you are a listener who's outside of the U.S. and hasn't left a review yet because, well, we won't see it anyway, now we will. And we'll be able to read it and thank you on the podcast. If you love the podcast and have fun listening, please leave us a positive rating and a review at lovethepodcast.com/PoseidonPod. This is a super helpful page we set up that's going to let you leave reviews on any of the platforms that are compatible with the device you're listening on right now. So don't worry about trying to leave us a review on iTunes if you don't listen to an Apple device or if you don't have iTunes downloaded on your computer. Lovethepodcast.com/podcast of Poseidon is going to show you all the options available to you, and you can leave us a review in 60 seconds. And I can speak for both DJ and myself when we say we would really, really appreciate it. That thing that podcasters say where reviews really help us grow, that's a true thing. That's real. So if you got a sec and you really love the show, let us know, and we'd love to thank you. That's all I got. And now, on to the show. All right, DJ, here we are, Season 3 proper. Let's kick it off by talking about the Manticore.
3. All right, Manticore. Was the Manticore really Greek?
No.
I never associated it with Greek culture.
No, it wasn't, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. First, we need to start with DJ. What do you remember about the Manticore from the Titan's Curse?
In the Titan's Curse, he's disguised as like just an old principal dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Thorn.
Dr. Thorn.
He really just kind of like whips out his tail. He never goes full Manticore. He just kind of whips out his tail and claws. And that's about it. And he throws thorns from his tail and stabs people and slashes. He's very strong. But then he gets
really
bodied by
Percy
Dionysus from the others. He fucks Percy up, but then he gets bodied by Dionysus when Dionysus is on the other side of the country.
Yeah, that
Keep in
is
mind,
like...
Dionysus is a god.
is a god. Just to remind you, here's the thing. I know he doesn't act like one, but he does have phenomenal godlike powers.
Yeah.
I have the book here. I wanted to see. Okay, so he does change fully into the Manticore.
Does he? I
didn't
catch it.
So I think it only happens once. I think the rest of the time we see him, he's like disguised in like his human Dr. Thorn thing. But So they're fighting the Manticore. Grover has like started playing his reed pipes in his cause, like the grass to grow up and like bind his legs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Thorne roared and began to change. He grew larger until he was in his true form. His face still human, but his body that of a lion. His leathery... Yeah, it's fucking horrifying.
It's horrifying.
And the plethora of medieval art of manticores doesn't make it less horrifying.
Yeah.
So he's the body of a lion, face of a human, and then his leathery, spiky tail whipped deadly thorns in all directions. So yeah, he does. I think later on when they meet him... Okay, yeah, you're right. So usually he shows up and he's got like 2 color eyes. And he just has like... He's in his like... He looks like a dude in a military haircut because he ran a military school. And then his like tail is out.
Uh-huh.
Which is a look. But yeah,
Yeah, it
after
is.
that, I don't think he turns into the full... I think you're right. He doesn't turn into the full Manticore. He doesn't bust out the lion body after that.
No, thank God. It's because he realizes he doesn't actually need it. That guy could just body this child right now.
Yeah. No need to go through all the trouble of like transforming. But oops, we've had a god on speed dial who just wants to kind of put Percy in his place a little bit.
Fuck, just a little bit. Make
I do
Percy
like
bow
that
his head,
scene.
little slice of humble pie.
Yeah, I do like it because not that I think Percy should ever be humble before the gods because
No.
fuck them.
But it's just like
But
Percy was also
does
just
it for
kind of being
Talia.
a dick. Yeah.
Percy's kind of being a dick. Yeah. Dionysus wasn't being helpful. But he's like, well, maybe if you... Because Percy's calling for Chiron. And he's like, well, maybe if you asked me, I might do something. And Percy's like, fuck you. I'd never ask you for shit. And then he looks around. He's like, all of my friends are
fine.
about to die. And Talia is having literally flashbacks of the worst moment of her life. So...
Yeah.
Fine. So he swallows his pride, not to please Dionysus, but for his friends, because that's what Percy does.
Yeah.
Not what this
Loyal to a
episode's
fault.
about.
Nope.
Loyal to a fault.
Oh, we?
So I wanted to also describe like what Dr. Thorne looks like when he's in his dude form. And he just is tall with a hawkish face, nostrils that flare, that kind of thing. He's got 2 colored eyes, 1 brown, 1 blue, like an alley cat's. Okay. But he's got an accent. And the way Percy describes it is French, maybe. He pronounced his J like Jacques. Because when they try to sneak into the school dance to find Nico and Bianca, he's like catches them. And he's like, visitors are not allowed to dance at the dance. You shall be ejected. And
Ejected.
And it's like... The Manticore wasn't French. So I don't know if Percy's just like... not good at placing accents or the fuck.
Well,
Let's
it's
get into
also
it.
like I don't know. Like the Manticore itself just seems to be like a weird. Like it's just been all over the place, right? It's been taken by every culture in some way, shape, or form.
Well, okay, so so the Manticore comes from Persian culture, like Persian folklore.
Yep, sounds about right.
And Persia, which is, I think Davis, do you know what Persia is? Or more specifically, what Persia was?
It was the Middle East, wasn't it?
Yes. Okay.
Or like Turkey in that area.
Yeah. So it's a historical region, specifically in what is like modern day Iran.
Okay. Yeah.
So it is like the Middle East, like kind of like Southeast Asia, that kind of area of the world, and there were quite a few Greek-Persian wars.
Oh yeah, they were just mixing a lot.
Yeah. But the story of the Manticore originally comes from Persia, and it got to Greece through trade stories, the same way stories travel anywhere, right? People traveling, people bringing stories with them. But what makes the Manticore interesting is that it's not like the Hydra, right? Or like a dragon.
Yeah.
It's the story that was brought from Greece, from Persia, is that this is a totally real animal that lives in India.
I'd believe it.
You'd believe.
India's got some crazy shit, especially for back then. India was wild, right? They fucking rode elephants. They were going crazy.
That's exactly the kind of bullshit someone from Greece would be like, I hear in India they ride elephants. Like, not regularly. That's not like the sedan of ancient India. So here is specifically the story. It was said to live in India and had the body of the lion, a tail of a scorpion, venomous projectile spines that would just shoot out, and also the head of the human, which, as we said, is the most
so that is the original.
Part.
Yeah.
That is exactly it.
Right,
also,
so he did his research to get the original storytelling.
So and also 3 rows of razor-sharp teeth that would allow it to consume its prey whole, leaving no trace. No bones.
Ooh, that's horrible.
No nothing.
That's
just
nice
swallows.
unhinge of the jaw.
Just the ultimate fucking predator. And again, this thing with the human face, totally real, definitely lives in India.
Oh, 100%. They walk over in India and they see that like what they got going. I don't even know like what India was doing back then, right? But they walk over in India, they see like
making
the
art,
Hindu.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
having
just,
kingdoms.
See that, like, the Hindu culture, the Hindu religion, just like everything that they're all about, and they're like, oh, these people.
Who are very
They got some
chill.
shit going on. Yeah, they got some shit going on. Oh man.
Like the Greeks or the Persians were one to talk.
Like that's what I'm saying, right? They would go there and like
everyone.
Whoa. Everyone. And I bet the Indians would see the Greeks and the Persians and be like,
whoa. I mean, that's true. That's culture shock exists throughout the history of humanity. Here's the thing I really want to get across. Is like in ancient Greece, in the time of these stories, in the time of the Manticore stories coming over, it's like the Hydra is like a cryptid. It's like if someone's like, oh yeah, I totally saw a Hydra on my way traveling from Athens to Thebes, it'd be like saying, yeah, my cousin saw Bigfoot when he was in Idaho. Like, that's like, okay, sure, man. But the Manticore is like saying, yeah, rhinoceroses are real. I saw one at a zoo, and it's like, yes, yeah. I've never seen one, but I know this is a real animal. And that's just like what
is the things that the Persians saw to make them think that? Right?
I don't know.
It doesn't come from nothing.
Right. Well, there's one thing I found, and I didn't know who this guy was. Oh, I did. Okay. So this was like a thing, right? And this is like the reason the Manticore. Side note, there are no myths involving the Manticore in Greek mythology. No heroes fought it. It never attacked a kingdom. Like that's not there.
It's because it's a real thing in India.
Because it's a real thing in India. So, and that's usually the Manticore wouldn't get its own episode because there's not enough myth to dig into. But it's this genre
but it's used everywhere else.
There's a lot that the Manticore gives us a lot in pop culture, which is right in our alley. But it's also part of this genre of mythology of absolute buck wild creature that people over here said definitely existed over there. And I love that. And I definitely was like, that's our episode. So
no, it's super fair.
Couple things. So you asked, like, what did they think? What were they seeing, right? What did they think it was?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
A Greek traveler who lived in the time of Rome, his name was Pausanias. He wrote he did a lot of writings, and he wrote in one of his works the description of Greece. He wrote about the Manticore, right? And he didn't think it existed, right? He's like, I'm pretty sure this isn't a real thing, and I think what they saw was probably a tiger.
Maybe.
I mean,
but
body tiger, and tigers' tails are like real wishy. They're real swoopy, stripes, big predators. Maybe you'll see the face obscured in a brush, like undergrowth. You just see the eyes. Now, meanwhile, Pliny the Elder, who was just this guy who had opinions on everything, was 100% on board. The Manticore was real. Fuck you, Pausanias. Fuck you, Paul. And if you know anything about Pliny the Elder, you will not be surprised to learn that he thought the Manticore was definitely a real thing.
It just seems like at this point, it's become like The Manticore is a cryptid, right?
Yes. And now that we have reached the time of Rome, the Manticore is more of that's a cryptid. You saw a Manticore? Sure, buddy. But
it's like, oh no, I know it's real. I saw it. I have video footage. And then it's the most blurry fucking thing anybody could ever take with an iPhone 12.
Yeah, it's wild. How is it so blurry? Why were you shaking your camera like it was a Morocco?
I try to shake my camera and take a picture, and it still comes out fucking clean. What the hell's wrong with you?
I know, weird how we don't have more cryptid images anymore now that everyone's got really good smartphones. I'm just saying they've gotten better at hiding. That's all I'm saying. But, yeah, no, Pliny the Elder definitely was like, nah, manticores are super, super real. And in 77 AD, in his book, The Naturalis Historia, he had a whole description of the manticore, which included this detail claiming that the manticore could mimic human speech.
Oh my fucking God, of course.
Not
I wouldn't be able to.
Mimic human speech. Which is like, sure, Pliny, we needed, on top of it being this apex predator that can shoot poisonous spikes out of its tail, we also needed the nightmare detail of it can mimic human speech with its human face. Thanks, Pliny. I just wanted to talk about how the manticore means man-eater. like its name. In Middle Persian, its name, and I'm going to mispronounce this, and I apologize. It looks like Marda Nyoro? I'm so sorry. Which meant, like, to eat man. And the English word manticore comes from the Latin word manticora, which is derived of a Greek version of the, like a Greecified version of the Persian name, Manticorus. So, it's a man-eater. It's definitely a tiger, probably. Tigers usually don't go around eating people unless times are really tough, but
or they're fucking annoyed.
Or you've pissed them off you pissed Tigger off for the last time, Christopher Robin.
Seriously.
That was a little dark for even for me. So, manticores, like I said, not a lot going on in Greek mythology. Hercules never fought one. No manticore ever came and terrorized a city, a la the Sphinx or like the Hydra or anything like that. No god ever sent a manticore to harass some humans who were too boastful. But you know who was super down with like putting manticore imagery in their culture?
The Christians?
Yeah, the Christians! Medieval European artists loved using the manticore in their art as a stand-in for the devil.
No, that's fair.
Which you know, if you know anything about Christian medieval artists, that's 100% on brand.
And it might come from Dante's Inferno.
DJ, tell me more.
So I just actually saw this because I'm like, I know, like it can't, like some like Christian stuff came up in Dante, in the poem, the epic Dante's Inferno. Mm-hmm. Dante and Virgil descend to the 8th circle on the back of Darien, a manticore. Here, the manticore is a symbol of fraud with a human face to depict the uniquely human nature of the sin.
I love Dante's Inferno. It is straight up just like Dante Alighieri writing self-insert fan fiction about the Bible and boasting about how cool he is.
I don't blame him.
Odysseus is down there. He meets Odysseus.
Of course Odysseus is down there.
Yeah, Odysseus is down there.
Great. But yeah, so that might, like, depending on like where we might find the first depiction of a manticore in Christian mythology, or not mythology, but Christian
iconography
belief. Yeah, iconography. Mm-hmm. Dante's Inferno might be the first. I have no idea when Dante's Inferno came out.
In the 1600s, we can check. Google it. You brought it up. You have to Google it. That's on you.
That's fair.
I didn't bring Dante's Inferno to the podcast.
No, not the video game. Not the film. 14th century, so the 1300s.
Oh, yeah. I was super off. 1300s. Yeah, that's pretty early. Honestly, all things considered.
Yeah, so
before we reach too far into manticore pop culture, I want to acknowledge one thing that I felt was a little weird. And I can't say if it's, I don't think it was intentional kind of weird, but just a little uncomfortable kind of weird, is that the manticore is just not Greek mythos. it comes from Persian cultural oral traditions telling stories about what they saw in India. So it's like very, very foreign, right? And when Artemis and the hunters show up and they save Percy and Annabeth, they try to save Annabeth, Percy and Talia and Grover and the D'Angelos, Artemis herself is there. And Dr. Thorne, as a Manticore, is like, you can't interfere. The gods can't interfere. And Artemis is like, what does she say? It's really good. Because she's Artemis. Everything she says is really good. I'm sorry. She
says, hunting the beast is my grounds. It's something along the lines of like, beasts being hunted is like my job and you are a wild beast.
Yeah. They're hunting. One of the hunters, Zoe, as we learn later. Permission to kill, my lady. I couldn't tell who she was talking to because she kept her eyes on the Manticore. The monster wailed. This is not fair. Direct interference. It is against the ancient laws. Not so, another girl said. This one was a little younger than me, maybe 12 or 13. Describing her. The hunting of all wild beasts is within my sphere, and you, foul creature, are a wild beast.
Yep.
And it's rad as hell. Like,
no,
it's really
awesome.
Great. He's like tries to like legalese, and she's like lawyered. Like, nah, here's the fine print. And it is good. It is a little weird. And I'm just going to say this to get it out there, and we don't have to harp on it. A little weird that this very foreign creature, not it's not Greece, it's basically Persian creature, is the only one that we really encountered that has like this power of speech. Like, a lot of monsters can talk, but this is the only one is like can talk like this and is considered a beast, right?
Yep.
Like a wild beast. Later she says like, it's weird that the Manticore, Artemis being she, it's bizarre that the Manticore has returned. It's an ancient beast. If the kids are being attacked by a Cyclops or a Gorgon and something, could Artemis have interfered directly? Because they're not beasts per se.
Is the Gorgon not a beast?
It's a monster, but it's not a beast. I think these are different classifications.
Okay.
This is something we're talking about, but I would wonder, it's like, it's a cool scene, but it is a little bit like,
maybe because like it's
vaguely xenophobic. I'm not saying it is or it's intentional, but it is like a little uncomfortable when you dig into the fact that this isn't a Greek monster. It's a Persian
I think it comes
one.
from the fact that it, like, as you said, it's later described as could imitate human speech.
So like, yeah, maybe it's only talking because I think that's where the whole like that's why this creature gets to be like a Cyclops doesn't pull that shit. I mean, they literally mimic, but different, right?
Yeah.
We don't see.
And it's also like,
and I think it's like a shape-shifting thing that he's doing. I don't know if it's the mist that the Manticore is using.
Is it a shape-shifting for Chiron to go into his wheelchair?
No, because that's
the mist.
The wheelchair itself is magic. It's like the TARDIS. It's
I mean, like,
on the inside.
And maybe. Again, because like it's Dante uses it for fraud. He's imitating a human. Like maybe he pulled from a lot. Maybe he pulled from a lot, right? A lot of sources, not just the Persian or Hindu.
Well, because the Manticore isn't. The Manticore isn't an Indian myth.
Okay.
It's Persian, pointing over to India, and being like, "Yeah, the Manticore super lives there, gang. Watch out, it's wild."
Yeah. So then like not just pulling from Persian or Greece. Maybe like he recognized the fact that. Because like later we do see him pull other creatures from other beliefs, you know?
No, yeah. It's like, I don't know. It was just, I was reading, and it's still interesting, and I still like it. I was just like, there's no Manticore myths. Like the very first thing I do when I start researching anything for the podcast is I get my copy of like Mythology by Edith Hamilton, and I hop into the index and I find what I need, and the Manticore's not in here. And there's a lot of shit in here.
Yeah.
It'll be indexed if it's mentioned once. Not even like I would need a whole story. So that's just, I don't know. That's interesting. That's all I had on that. I just wanted to mention it. It is something that you can particularly dig into more, but not within the scope of this podcast today.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about its pop culture because there's a hell of a lot more that it's brought up in pop culture. Because, I mean, if we look at it, it's kind of a badass monster.
It's
if we replace the human face with the lion face that we see it a vast majority of the time, right? That's a cool fucking monster.
Yes, the lion face. when it has the human face, I wouldn't call it cool. It's just upsetting.
It's real upsetting.
Lion head is cool.
The lion head is cool. Human face not.
No. Nothing
upsetting.
that is animal with human face is ever cool. It's always upsetting.
It's all spooky. It's always spooky.
So spooky. So did you go on? Where can we find the Manticore?
The Manticore, and the ones that I can like bring off the top of my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, fuck yeah, this is like when I think Manticore, these are the things that I think of. The first one would be Adventure Time with its little Manticore, tiny Manticore. That shows up very few times throughout the series. First time we see him, he's trapped in a bottle in Magic Man's house.
Aww.
Because Magic Man has trapped him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so when Jake frees him, he goes on a monologue about how he was like trapped in a jail. And it's like, I am trapped by fear and just like other shit like that.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I am still trapped because he's like still fear. And it's like this, it's a weirdly in-depth monologue into the psyche of this Manticore.
Poignant.
And Jake's like, could you understand what he was saying? No, not a word. Because he's so small and flying away.
Can't hear him. He's like a little who.
Later he comes back and he's like an antagonist for the party.
Oh, no.
Can't remember what happened. He's either
so full
somehow...
of rage.
Yeah, he's so full of rage. He either somehow found out a way to steal Magic Man's magic and like encapsulate it, or was just attacking after Magic Man lost his magic to Betty.
Yeah,
that was a fucking thing. It made me sad.
Oh boy, she was trying so hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
to finish
Manticore.
the series.
I know.
Manticore.
Hey, you know what I did finish?
He finished Trials of Apollo. Let's go.
Fuck yeah! Big shout out to God-tier patron friend of the show, and also my good friend Tim O'Connor. He got me a box set of Trials of Apollo for Christmas. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah. The tiny Manticore shows back up, and he's got boomerangs, and so he's throwing these boomerangs.
Oh god!
And like, the first time he throws the boomerang, they duck out of the and then it comes back. He's like boomerang, and he's like, so he throws it again. They duck, and then they duck again. He's like, you're not gonna get me again, and then he gets hit in the back of the head by another boomerang, and it's like 2 boomerangs.
No, not 2 boomerangs. Love it.
I don't think he shows up later. But that's the tiny Manticore in Adventure Time. It's just stupid. It's silly. I love it so much.
I'm gonna look up a picture of tiny Manticore real quick.
Tiny Manticore.
Yeah, Adventure Time.
Tiny Manticore.
Oh no, I hate it.
Tiny Manticore.
His face is so wide. He kind of has a man face. He has a mane, but his face is that of a man.
That's just also Adventure Time's fucking...
It's also Adventure... Yeah,
it's just Adventure Time. I can't do much about it.
Yeah, it's also just...
You could see the bottle that he was trapped in one of the pictures.
Yep.
It's tiny. It's pretty great.
Okay, who else we got?
The next thing I think of when I think Manticore is the Ninja Sex Party song, Manticore.
Okay.
And it's a goofy fucking song. Because this was like when they were first starting out.
Are there any Ninja Sex Party songs that aren't goofy?
Danny, Don't You Know?
All right.
That's not a goofy one.
Keep going. We can't go off on this tangent. Manticore song. What was it called again?
Manticore.
Oh, tight. Okay, cool.
It's just called Manticore by Ninja Sex Party.
Okay.
And it's just like a goofy song, and it's like they just have lines like the Manticore invented death and all things that are bad.
What?
Because you got kicked in the junk. The Manticore is glad. It's just a goofy and like obviously like the guy who plays Ninja Brian is dressed up as the Manticore, but the way they do it, he's got like leggings that go up to like above his belly button, then like American fucking like an American flag Speedo, and like a goofy looking mask, and he's got no shirt on.
Yep, just pulled it up, just looked up the image.
The song is again like a super fun, super goofy. And it's just super.
He's missing the tail, and that's the. Oh, I've got fan art. I found fan art of him as the Manticore. They have in fact given him the scorpion tail.
And then it's like he shows up later in another song when the Danny Sexbang was trying to court a lady. by like singing about how he was a dragon slayer. The song is called Dragon Slayer.
Obviously, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you got your choice of a football player, a scientist, a actor, and it's like, well, what about a dragon slayer? Oh no, it was, instead of actor, it was weightlifter. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And at the end of the song, it's like, so what do you say? Oh, I see you went with the football player and the scientist, and apparently the weightlifter as well, and Ninja Brian, and the dragon, and the Manticore. You weren't even in this song.
Fuck yeah, good for her. Maybe shoot your shot and then shoot it again.
With everybody.
Good for her.
Except for the fucking Dragon Slayer.
That's fine. He sounds like he's a lot of high maintenance. He sounds like he's probably high maintenance. Everyone else clearly has their own things going on. Super
funny. And that's that. And then the last thing that I think of when I think Manticore is in Smite.
Okay.
When the game first came out in the first couple of seasons, it was actually when it was in beta, and I think the first season, I can't remember. It was a boss, like a jungle boss on the map, right?
That's
so you'd
cool.
go,
Okay.
you'd kill it, you get a buff for your team. They replaced it with a fire giant, and then it became like a training boss, and then they kind of just like removed it, and it's kind of a gag for the developers. Like every now and again on April 1st, it's like, okay, the next god that we're adding to Smite is the Manticore, and he's got like the most busted ability, and he's like saying how good he is, and then the person who actually like normally announces it, the Lady of Lore, or the Lady of the Lore, comes in like, no, that's not what
Who let you
goes
in?
back and forth, and I'm like, I wish they kept the Manticore in the game, because I think it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but it's also like,
it's very cool looking,
right? But yeah, but they just kind of like goof around with it nowadays. They don't really.
Mm-hmm. They took it out and just now it's a gag. I like that. I like that. Yeah. That's a thing that exists for the Smite community and then the developers. That seems fun.
Yeah.
A lot of Manticore depictions will have wings, though that was not part of the original Manticore lore.
Nope.
That's just one of those, and they added it later because damn, you want to make something cooler? Put fucking wings on it.
Put cool ass demon wings on it.
Yep.
Or dragon wings or whatever you want to do.
Dragon wings, kind of bat wings, those leathery wings. But like feather bird wings also. You want to make a human
Those
cooler?
are cool, but
wings.
Are cool, but in like a
Angel.
different way, right? Yeah.
They are cool in a different way. It's a different cool, but they are both cool.
Yes.
They are both cool. There's not a single creature that you couldn't put leathery wings on and it wouldn't be instantly cooler.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. A fucking sea rabbit is instantly cooler. You throw leather sea bunnies.
Yeah, those fucking
it's a type of
sea slugs.
Yeah. Instantly cooler. You put leathery wings on it. You do not fuck around with a winged sea bunny.
No, yeah, leathery wings.
It comes from the deep.
Just cool. Leather wings are
it is
just
an elder
cool.
god of the deep. You could take a bat that already has leather wings and then give it another set, and it is instantly cooler than it was before.
How many wings makes it not cool? 3. Just only 3 wings. Not even like 3 sets, just 3 wings.
Oh, so it's flat, flat, flat.
It's flat, 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 but then like another wing kind of coming out of it, going fucking overtime like that, but then it's like moving itself downward.
I can see third wing being potentially useful. I know nothing about engineering or aerodynamics, so I probably am wrong. But yeah,
for quick descent maybe, but that's
side
like
to
just
side.
dive.
Maybe if it only. Okay, hold up. Third wing is cool if it is used. So the side wings flap, 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 and then when it needs to dive down into water, back wing comes up sideways. So it's like a kind of sail, and it like can control its descent, and then the slices into the water. Third wing is still cool.
Yeah, maybe. I think it just depends on the kind of wing and the like what animal we're putting on.
I had a bat in my head still.
You had a bat in your head still?
A 3-winged bat. No, and you could we'll put 3 wings back on the sea bunny. It uses the third wing like the sail to get back in the water. Just slices in like a razor. Sea bunny's still cool. Seriously, everybody look up the sea bunny. If you've never heard of this thing, it's
they're adorable.
Weirdly cute.
Super
Yeah.
adorable.
They're super adorable.
The Manticore does show up in like a couple of other games, obviously.
Obviously.
It shows up in Ark Survival Evolved, though I don't play the game because I'm not super into its mechanics and such, but I know it's wildly popular. And it is a world boss in it, so you would go and you'd kill it and you'd get rare drops.
Cool.
It looks pretty sick, but it's also like, again, not my kind of game just because like those base builder styles aren't overly fun in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about Onward?
Yeah. I was actually about to bring it up.
Yay!
In Onward, the Manticore shows up, and she is the manager of a Chuck E. Cheese-esque tavern-themed store.
It's like, she's the owner of like a medieval TGI Fridays.
Yeah. And I think like the weirdest thing about the Onward world, right, is that magic
This is the Pixar
completely...
movie Onward.
Yes. The magic is like completely forgotten by everybody. As if there wouldn't be some fucking dorks, nerds, hipster-ass people being like, well, I don't need electricity, I got magic. Like, they would still practice it.
So the Manticore in Onward is great. She
Manticore's
owns a
Onward.
restaurant.
She owns a restaurant, and she was, again, weird thing.
A quest giver.
She was a quest giver. She went out to do these quests. She did them. She remembers the time before electricity and before convenience. And just like, I don't know how long a Manticore would generally live.
I think because it's interesting. They call her the Manticore. The is in her name. At the end of the movie, after their mom becomes BFFs with the Manticore and she's leaving to go hang out, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna hang out with the Manticore." That's her name. She's the Manticore.
All right, so maybe she is like, maybe it has been like, let's say,
kind of a goddess a little bit. I saw a review where they described it as like, oh, Onward is for boys like Frozen is for girls. And it's like, no, you mean Onward does for brotherhood the same thing that Frozen does for sisterhood.
Yeah, exactly.
These things are not for boys, for
like
girls.
You have fucking, and that like, that's the thing, right? Is like the way that sisterhood is described in Frozen is exactly how I would imagine it if you had a sister. That was relatively like you were close to,
I
right?
can't relate to this.
You can't relate to it. I can absolutely relate to Onward in the sense that fuck, sometimes Johnny gets on my nerves. Fuck, sometimes Jerry gets on my nerves, or I get on like their nerves, right? But God forbid if I don't love them at the end of the day, and I would fucking do anything for either of them. And I love that about Onward. It is super wonderful.
Yeah, I love that about Onward. I love those moments of Frozen. I could stand for a Disney Pixar movie with a brother sister dynamic.
That would be great. I'd love to see it.
It's so very rare to have brother-sister dynamic. King Chronicles is great. It's definitely like not super common in not that it doesn't exist, but just like I realized recently because I've written a lot of short stories and characters, and my character always has a sibling who is always not their gender. Like, I do not have characters that if I'm writing a guy, he does not have a brother, he has a sister. If I'm writing a female character, she does not have a sister, she has a brother. Like, I only do brother-sister dynamic.
If I were to
by instinct, siblings, not even by
I did once, but it was really more along the lines of for mythology about, like, somebody being forced into something and they were twins. But if I were to... It was a fucking while ago for a short story thing.
I'm sorry, is this a bonus episode topic, Davis? You want to tell me more?
We could talk about it in the bonus episode.
Oh my god, really? Yeah.
I have fun.
I
mean, honestly, it's a sun and moon thing, so we can absolutely talk about it.
I did write a short story about Artemis for my English class when I was a freshman in high school. Now, the context of the story is real fucking sad. I did it.
Mine is like a little forcefully sad. I'm like, this sounds fun. This sounds believable for like an Eastern myth. And I'm gonna be real with you. Kind of went a little Eastern with like influences on how I like viewed things at I think it was like freshman or sophomore.
Yeah, I'm sure there is stuff that's like this is not a thing.
It's like this is not something that like would be.
This would not be like a
Greek
class.
Yeah, this would not be like a Greek or a Middle Eastern or an African style myth. This is absolutely I've like thinking about it. I would see Chinese mythology doing this, even though I know that that's not how they did their sun and moon thing. You know. But
hey, we should probably get back on topic.
Let's get back on topic. Onward had a major plot. Just one final thing. The magic thing in Onward was a major plot hole that I just like. I'm very glad that it's now out there for me.
Okay, I would argue that it's not a plot hole. However, it is a because it's not a plot hole, right? A
It's
plot
not.
hole
You're
is when
okay.
the plot
It's
doesn't
not a
make,
plot hole,
but
but
it
it's
is,
just
it's
an
a weakness.
inconsistency.
It's a gap.
For
An
me, it's like
inconsistency.
an inconsistency for world building. Is not
Yes,
how
it's a-
world building would
it's
work.
a
It's not how
world-building
humans or
gap.
people work. I get
Yeah.
they're not actually humans, but it's not how sentient life, I believe, works.
No, I think that's totally fair. You got any other manticores for us? We should probably actually talk about the manticore. Yeah, she gives quest. She now owns this restaurant, but eventually is like has a moment of like, wait, what did I used to be? I used to be a beast.
I used to be great. I used to be, and she just destroys her tavern, like her
And kicks
TGI,
everyone out.
her tavern. God, like thank God, whatever it was called. Hold on, I actually want to know what this was fucking called. Hold on, I think it was called like the Manticore's Tavern, and it had like Chuck E. Cheese ass.
Yeah, it had like someone in costume and stuff and dancing, and it had just like bric-a-brac all over the wall.
Yeah, it's called the Manticore's Tavern, and it's just like it's the original tavern that the Manticore would give quests in, but now it's a Chuck E. Cheese-esque fucking place.
Yep, it's very good. And then she has a moment of like, nah, hold up, she has a bit of an episode.
Just a
and
bit.
Comes back to herself and is like, whoa, hold on, what the fuck was that? I need to calm down. But then mom shows up to try to track down her sons, and she's like, you're coming with me because you know where my kids went. And they have an adventure, and it's great.
Her name is Corey.
The mom?
No, the Manticore.
Oh, Manticore. Yeah, they call her Corey. Because Manticore.
Yep.
What's the mom's name?
Laurel.
Laurel. That makes sense. I had Linda on the tongue. Laurel. Laurel's great. She was my favorite character in that, definitely.
Yeah, Laurel was wonderful. Lightfoot is their last name.
Good fantasy name. Not super intrusive, but good fantasy name.
Good fantasy name, and it's also like, oh, the dad was a star running back, or a track star.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
forgot.
like, I can't remember the dad's name, but it's like, man, he could fucking run like the wind, and so that's why everybody recognized the hoodie that Ian Dorr would wear all the time.
That's right. Yeah, his name is Ian Dorr. That's fucking. Onward's a great movie. I'm gonna watch Onward this weekend after I finish my school
wonderful.
stuff. I'm almost
Love
done.
Love it to pieces. Now what this podcast is about.
No, it's podcast about. So we should let's start an Onward podcast. We just talk about Onward.
Start a
every
Disney
episode.
Pixar podcast, but we only talk about Onward.
We only talk about Onward. Welcome to Onward. We never move on.
We'll be talking about everything about it because it's great, but also like
DJ's got opinions.
I got opinions. I got opinions about that movie. It's wonderful. It's got things.
Our patrons are going to enjoy hearing that conversation so much.
Yes.
All right, DJ. Any other Manticore stuff?
Not a lot that stuck out to me, right? Because
Nothing worthwhile.
Nothing like super crazy. It came out again, the Spiderwick books. It came about, but not like it wasn't an enemy that the characters faced. It was just written in the journal. Hey, avoid this.
Mentioned.
Yeah.
Avoid the Manticore. Yeah.
Avoid the Manticore.
Nice.
This thing's fucking dangerous. Was in Charmed. That's also a you thing.
Oh well, that's more of a Skylar Barsanti thing.
Ah, okay. I don't know.
Never.
I just recognize it, and I know you talked about it a couple of times.
I have talked about Charmed, yes.
But again, it doesn't even show up. It's just
mentioned.
It's mentioned. A lot of the times they're just mentioned, and also a lot of the times it's brought up in terms of like military stuff.
Well, I think it's mentioned in like shows and stuff because it's expensive to do a Manticore.
Apparently, in like early scripts of James Cameron Avatar, it was gonna be a big six-limbed panther from hell, is what it's described as.
Panther from hell?
So just this,
like as one of the creatures of Pandora.
With an armor, as one of the creatures of Pandora is what they were going to call a Manticore, which was a big panther with 6 limbs instead of 4. An armored head, a venomous striking tail, and a massive, distensible armored jaws.
Well, he's making 4 more movies. Yeah, it would be badass. And he's making 4 more movies.
In the Avatar universe?
We might see them. Yeah.
Oh,
you don't know about this?
No, I didn't. The last thing I heard from like the thing that was going to come from the Avatar franchise was Avatar Frontier, which is the game coming out, and I'm very excited for. For the listeners, for those who don't know, I'm a big fan of James Cameron Avatar.
Yeah,
like,
DJ's
I
weirdly
do not know why. Like looking back, that movie's not great, But like, I liked the world of Pandora. I thought it was gonna like super cool, and I'm very excited to learn more about it.
Yeah. This is not ironic. This is not like
No, this is not like.
It's
No,
not like
it's
he
like
was ironically liked it and now accidentally likes it. DJ
No.
legitimately has always liked Avatar.
No, I fucking love it. I think it's super great. Maybe it's because I saw it around the time that I was getting into like just space stuff, and so I'm like, yeah, this is it, dude. This is exactly what like this is the future. But like, this fucking coolie shit. I love it. I love Avatar, dude. If I can ask any of my siblings, that movie's fucking great.
Yeah, DJ's super into. This is a fact, right? Write that down on your podcast episode and host notes, I guess. Oh yeah, DJ's weirdly into Avatar. We gotta go to Disney World. Gotta get you on the Avatar.
Very excited.
Pandora.
It's just gonna be great.
So can I tell you about some other mythical
go ahead.
creatures that ancient folks thought were definitely totally real, but over there?
Yes, I'd love to hear them.
Oh my god, thank you. So I've got a list. I've got a few. I'd like to tell you about a couple that were courtesy of Pliny the Elder. Because as I said, the dude doubled the fuck down on the Manticore and gave it the power to mimic human speech. So, couple he had was written in his just Naturalia Historia. This creature was called a Bonacon, which was a bull-like creature from Macedonia that had a horse's mane and backwards facing horns. So it had horns, but they were useless. They didn't do shit. So to defend itself, it just sprayed flaming hot dung for 300 feet.
Yeah. How do you spell that?
Bonnacon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This fucking picture just shows it turned around. It's got the most like, it's got the face that you give when you're trying to shit real hard, and then it's just shitting on this dude with a shield.
Yep.
This
When I
is
say
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, when I say flaming hot, I don't just mean like flaming hot Cheetos. I mean its dung could actually set things on fire.
Dude, Final Fantasy XI had a lot of fucking things going for it. The Bonacon is in it, and so was the Manticore.
Tight. I love that.
Oh, it's Bonacon is in 14. I
That's
haven't
surprising.
encountered it, even though it's in A Realm Reborn. It's like the first.
Does it do the dung thing or?
I don't know. I never encountered it.
That seems a bit crass for a Final Fantasy game, but I guess I don't really know much about Final Fantasy games, to be honest.
Final Fantasy 14 is a little fucking crazy. It kind of goes off on its own thing. Then again, all games do their own thing, right? They're all vastly different. Not vastly, but they're all like different in the sense of like they don't actually follow the same storyline. So if you're ever thinking about getting into Final Fantasy, don't worry about which one you go into. Really, the only two games that connect are 11 and 14, but that's real loosely.
It's real loosely.
It's real loosely. They're in the same
use
world,
connect
but like
loosely.
fucking 100 years apart.
Oh, tight, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't think at this stage I can get into Final Fantasy. I've got other things going on.
No, that's super fair. Very excited for Final Fantasy 16. At least, hopefully, they didn't revert back to turn-based. I don't imagine they would at this point,
We'll
but
see.
who's to say?
So another creature that Pliny recorded was called the Hercynia. And I will just read this direct translated quote that I found. In the Hercynian forest in Germany, over there, we hear of a singular kind of bird, feathers of which shine at night like fire. So basically this bird was just a lantern that had glowing fucking feathers.
How do you spell that?
Hercynia.
Yeah, just getting a lot of medieval things. That's sick, though.
Yeah, all of these are creatures that just appeared in bestiaries in the Middle Ages. Like, that's totally real. Last one is called the Joculus.
How do you spell it?
Jaculus.
This thing is horrifying.
I included this because it was a flying snake
Yeah, it is.
called the javelin snake that killed its prey by falling on it. And I include this because our brother
this
Johnny is
one-
terrified of snakes, and I want you to tell him about this.
I don't know if I will. He'll hurt me.
You
This
do live
depiction of it, this depiction right here is pretty sick. It's it's a big snake with like fins on it, so I guess it just like flies magically, and it's got a really pointed nose. So it just fucking javelin is about right for what the way this looks.
Yep.
And it lived in northern Africa.
Yeah, over there.
Over there.
I got another one for you. These ones come from Herodotus, who was a 5th century BCE Greek scholar, who he actually does give us some, he's considered the father of history and provided some pretty solid accounts of the Greek-Persian War and some pretty buck-wild accounts of fucking everything else.
Ooh, gimme.
So you will have to look up these ones because I don't have the name of the first one. He just wrote that there were ants the size of foxes in the deserts of India. And
that sounds like some Crystal Skull ass shit. You know, that we saw in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Yep. In this one, he said that in Ethiopia, they hunt these creatures that were he described as whole men who were just so fast. They were incredibly swift on foot, and they eat snakes and lizards and speak a language like no other but squeak like bats. DJ, does that description sound familiar to you?
Sorry, say it again. Say the description.
So, creatures called whole men, incredibly fast, swifter than chariots on foot. They eat lizards and bats, or they eat lizards and reptiles, and have a language that sounds like high-pitched squeaks like bats.
Isn't that just moles?
It's the troglodytes. Who most notably make an appearance in
they do make an
Trials of Apollo.
Trials of Apollo.
Tower of Nero.
This is true. I kind of spaced on it. It's been a minute.
That's okay. But yeah, this is I included.
I was thinking of real ass things that these people could maybe get confused for.
Oh no, you are fair. Yeah, when I was reading, it was like it's Mole Man, and I was like, I did include that one because, oh yeah, these fools show up in the books, so they got to be on the list of. They definitely said they were real and lived in Ethiopia.
Understand?
I got one more for you because this one is wild and appears in the Bible.
What is it?
So, reverse centaur. It's called a onocentaur, which is probably not the right inflection.
Yeah.
But
sounds like it's a centaur made of that ono fish that we all love.
Wait, what?
The ono fish that you can only get in Hawaii because it never makes it past the island because it's so fucking good.
I don't know about this fish.
Yeah, it's why John and fucking all of us really enjoy Quinn's fish and chips is because it's made from this fish that is just really good. It is amazing fish, the best fish I've ever had, right? Mm-hmm. It never makes it past Hawaii because it gets bought immediately.
I dig it. So this is reverse centaur. So it's got but donkey.
So instead of a horse, it's donkey?
It's a donkey. And it doesn't have 2 legs. It's only got the donkey hind. Look it up. ONOCENTAUR. Yeah.
It looked like a dude with really bad back problems and a beer gut.
So, in a translation of the book of Isaiah, onocentaurs are mentioned twice in verses 13:22. And an onocentaur will settle there, and hedgehogs will nest in their homes, and it comes quickly and does not delay. And then later in 34:14. And the spirits will meet with the onocentaurs and howl to one another, and the onocentaurs will stop because they have found rest. And then there are corresponding words in Hebrew are island beast, howler, jackal, hairy, he-goat, satyr. There's translations that have preserved the word onocentaur. But later versions of English language translation of the Bible, they've changed it to wonderful beasts. And in the King James version, that verse is translated as satyr.
All right. Yeah, I was about to say, for those of you who can't imagine it and don't really want to Google or if you're busy doing something, it's imagine if you take a satyr, but instead of cutting it off at the waist and then immediately turn into human from the hind legs of a goat, extend it out a little bit, right, to where it goes forward still, and do it a little more. And a lot of these depictions do show it's like if you take a centaur, but just take away the front legs, and it still is able to stand up.
And is a donkey.
And is a donkey now.
Yep. And again, this thing was totally real, definitely existed over there, and is mentioned twice in the Bible. And that's why it made my list.
Love it.
And these are not the only definitely real creatures. Medieval bestiaries are just full of this kind of stuff, and it's amazing, and I love it. But of all of them, the Manticore is probably the best one.
Yeah. I love it. The Manticore is definitely used a heck of a lot more than a lot
of a lot more interesting than the javelin serpent or the bonacon.
Yeah.
With the bad horns. And DJ, that's all I have for you today on our very special first myth episode of our season 3 of the podcast. You got anything else?
Not really. I was trying to look through this list to see if anything else like jumped out at me, right? I really don't got much else for the Manticore or creatures that definitely existed but over there. I mean, I guess we could then say like, oh, creatures that definitely exist but over there could be like a Yeti.
A Yeti is really good, actually, example of creature that definitely exists but over there.
Yeah, because like that one is like, we haven't really actually, like Bigfoot, probably, most likely not real. A lot of people have just combed through the forests of the Northwest and the forests of the East. I don't believe Bigfoot's real. Yetis, we haven't combed through the entirety of the Himalayas. That's a really treacherous area.
I would almost say Yeti is different because in these creatures that totally exist but over there, when you get over there, the people who live over there are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Whereas the Yeti is very much like, based on my knowledge of the Yeti, which I will admit comes from my knowledge of the research that went into creating Expedition Everest for Disney World's Animal Kingdom, the Yeti is considered like the protector spirit of the mountain, essentially.
Yeah.
That's why in the ride the Yeti is attacking you because you've invaded the mountain. It'll swipe at you. It's very cool. And that's why the Yeti is brown in the ride, and it's not white. It's brown because up there creatures would be brown. They blend into the forests.
Yeah.
But it doesn't swipe at you anymore because they didn't build it in a way that they can fix the animatronic easily.
It sucks.
So it just roars. This is not standby line.
No. I was in I said in the Star Wars expanded universe. I'm like, oh, word? We got a Manticore? No, it's just like Star Destroyers are named after legendary beasts like Manticore, Basilisk, Hydra, and Gorgon.
Yeah, most creatures in the Star Wars universe are not named after
things.
Like
they have
our
their own
creatures.
Names.
They're like modeled after. You can see that in their modeling sometimes. Something looks kind of like something, but usually they have their own like book wild Star Wars space names.
I don't got much more else. Again, like it's all just kind of a lot of things that come up is just like, oh, this thing was named after the Manticore. A lot of it really is just like starship bombers or quests or like military stuff. They're all just like named after the Manticore. Even in The Witcher, the Manticore itself, like I tried to look because like you can get Manticore armor, but it doesn't seem like you kill a Manticore to get it.
Oh, just Manticore as a name is a good name.
It's
right?
a good name.
Just,
that is a fucking
like Leviathan.
Man, I love it. Those are good fucking names. However, yeah, like. Which it's weird that the Manticore doesn't show up in The Witcher because that game is about you being a monster hunter.
Yeah, you think Manticore would definitely
being like and not just like a monster hunter like Monster Hunter where we get like Rathalos and like all these like crazy fucking monsters that are made for this specific world. The Witcher, you, as far as I can tell, I haven't played it and I want to. Like Witcher 3 looks fucking awesome, right? As far as I can tell, what you hunt are like mythical creatures from either Polish or like other mythologies, and the fact that the Manticore armor shows up but you don't kill a Manticore for it is a little strange.
Yeah, it's odd. Well, I think on that note, we are done with our first myth episode of season 3.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to go on.
No, I'm good. GJ, thank you so much for bringing all the pop culture stuff to the table. I appreciate you
Yeah,
sharing that today.
I know it was more along the lines of just stuff for me, but you know.
No, I dig it. Thank you so much, DJ, and thank you, listeners, all so much for tuning in, for first proper episode of season 3. We're really excited. We got a lot of Titan's Curse has a lot of cool shit in it, and so we've got a lot of cool stuff to do. And a lot of guests lined up.
Yeah, I was about to say a lot of guests are going to come on, and we're very excited about it. And if you'd like to hear my Sun and Moon fanfic, we will absolutely talk about it on bonus episode because it has to do with Sun and Moon, and that's kind of a big factor in this one.
Yeah, it is. All right, we will be back in your ears on Tuesday, February 1st for our Hunters of Artemis episode.
Very excited.
Very excited. And also, hey, DJ, that's our birthday month.
It is. It is our birthday month. We were both born. Super strange. Our parents were born in October. Our brothers were born in July, and we were born in February.
We were born in February.
Super strange. Not planned.
Yep. Not planned. Nope. This just kind of happened.
Not planned, but if you go back, you can see us John and Jared were anniversary babies. Oh, no, they were birthday babies. We were anniversary babies.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about that.
Don't like thinking about it, but it's a fact.
Birthday. Yeah. But I do like celebrating our birthdays, and so
I'm very excited.
Keep an eye out this month, y'all. We will definitely be doing something special. I don't know what yet.
Month. Not this month, next month.
Yeah, sorry. At the next month when we... It's December while we're recording. Sorry, I broke the kayfabe.
We'll figure something out.
We'll think of something.
We'll figure something. We'll peek behind the curtain. We're recording during our hiatus. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. And until next time, don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus.
Podcast of Poseidon is created and hosted by Darien and DJ Smartt. It's edited by Darien Smartt. The show is produced by Darien and DJ Smartt, as well as
Tim O'Connor, the Crystal Con Man. Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain, and our cover art is by Audrey Miller. You can find her on Instagram at bombshellnutshellart.
Like the show? Ready for more? Support Podcast of Poseidon on Patreon. Just $1 gets you exclusive bonus content. Find out more at patreon.com/podcastofposeidon.
Can't spare the drachmas? You can support the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcast or by sharing us with your friends. Find all of our episodes and episode transcripts at podcastofposeidon.com.
Thanks for listening.